and welcome back. A growing wave of public frustration over insecurity, kidnappings and economic hardship spill onto the streets of Abuja as hundreds of protesters marched through the nation's capital demanding urgent action from the government. Leading the demonstration was controversial social media activist Martins Vincent, widely known as Very Dark Man or VDM, who joined protesters, youth groups, and civil society activists in a protest that quickly drew national attention. The protesters carried placards and chanted slogans targeting kidnappers, bandits, and terrorist groups while expressing dissatisfaction with the government's handling of the country's security challenges. Some demonstrators also directed criticism at the ruling party, arguing that despite years of promises and significant security spending, many Nigerians still feel unsafe in their communities. The protest comes at a time when concerns about insecurity have intensified across the country. Recent kidnappings, attacks on rural communities, and the abduction of school children have triggered widespread debate about the effectiveness of Nigeria's security architecture. As the crowd moved through parts of Abuja, including the Akpo area, participants demanded stronger action against criminal networks operating across various regions of the country. Many said ordinary Nigerians are increasingly afraid to travel on highways, visit farms, or move freely between communities because of the threat posed by kidnappers and armed groups. Security personnel were deployed across major government facilities and strategic locations within the Federal Capital Territory as authorities monitored the demonstration. The traffic was affected in some parts of the city, and protesters marched towards key institutions to deliver their message. Addressing the crowd, VDM argued that Nigerians are demanding results rather than promises. He questioned why insecurity remains widespread despite the large amounts allocated annually to defend the security agencies. According to him, citizens are becoming increasingly frustrated by reports of rising security budgets while kidnappings, attacks, and violent crimes continue to dominate headlines across the country. The activists also referenced previous public comments suggesting that information about some criminal groups may already be known to authorities. He challenged security agencies to intensify efforts against those responsible for kidnappings, banditry, and terrorism. Another issue raised during the demonstration was the recurring adoption of school children. Protesters pointed to recent incidents involving schools and communities, arguing that attacks on children represents one of the most troubling aspects of Nigeria's security crisis. Many participants said the continued targeting of schools risks creating fear among parents and undermining confidence in the education system. Some call for emergency measures to strengthen school security and improve protection for vulnerable communities. Beyond insecurity, the protest also reflected broader concerns about economic hardship. Rising living costs, unemployment, and declining purchasing power have become major concerns for many households. Demonstrators argue that insecurity and economic difficulties are increasingly interconnected, affecting livelihoods, businesses, and social stability. Very Dark Man also highlighted concerns about the welfare of security personnel. According to him, many officers are expected to confront heavily armed criminals while facing difficult working conditions. He argued that improving the welfare, training, and equipment of security forces should be part of any long-term solution. As the demonstration continues, protesters move towards government institutions, including the Federal Ministry of Defense and the Office of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. There, the renewed calls for a more aggressive and coordinated response to criminal groups operating across the country. The protest represents one of the most visible public demonstrations on insecurity in recent months and reflects growing public demand for measurable improvements in safety and security. While government officials have repeatedly highlighted ongoing military operations and security reforms, many Nigerians continue to judge success based on conditions in their communities. For families affected by kidnappings, attacks, and displacement, statistics often matter less than the ability to live without fear. The demonstration also highlights the growing role of social media influencers and activists in shaping national conversations around governance and public accountability. Figures like VDM increasingly command large audiences and are able to mobilize attentions around issues affecting ordinary citizens. Whether the protest leads to policy changes remains uncertain. However, the message from demonstrators was unmistakable. Nigerians want stronger action against insecurity, greater accountability for security spending, and a clear plan to protect lives and properties. As attacks and kidnappings continue to dominate public discourse, pressure is likely to remain on political leaders and security agencies to demonstrate that progress is being made. For many protesters on the streets of Abuja, the issue goes beyond politics. It is about safety, freedom of movement, and the belief that every Nigerian should be able to live, work, and travel without fear. The challenge facing authorities now is convincing citizens that the fight against insecurity is producing results that can be felt in communities across the country. What do you think is the biggest cause of Nigeria's security crisis? Or what should be done differently to address it? Share your views in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to First Next News, and turn on notifications for more updates on politics, security, and national affairs. Many thanks for watching.